This is the art of asking, how to get what you want. You will learn a brutal truth. The world gives to those who ask clearly, boldly, and without apology. If you don't ask, you don't get. If you ask weakly, you'll be handed crumbs. For the next hour, I will teach you how to ask like a pro. The words, the stance, the timing, the follow-up, so you start getting what you want starting today. Ask, repeat, claim. Chapter 1. Stop expecting miracles. Start asking. You have a choice. Act or wait. That is the first decision. Talent does not ask. Luck does not ask. Prayer does not ask. People who move up ask. People who get paid more ask. People who get what they want ask. Ask for it. Ask for it. Ask for it. Start with the truth. Silence costs you time. Silence costs money, status, relationships, opportunities. If you want something, the world will not hand it to you because you're deserving. The world responds to requests. That is the brutal operating system of life. You have a choice. Ask or don't ask. That's the key. Here is how to open any conversation without apology. Use short sentences. Use specific numbers. Use a simple deadline. Do not soften. Do not hint. Say it. Don't hint it. Examples you can use right now. To your boss, can we meet for 15 minutes tomorrow? I want to discuss adjusting my salary to X dollars by June 1st. Pause. Wait for the response. To a client, I can deliver this scope if we move the fee to Y dollars and the deadline to date. Are you okay with that? To a partner, I need 3 nights a week of quiet work time. Can we make that a rule starting next Monday? Say it, don't hint it. The words are simple. The courage is practiced. Script the ask before you speak. Write it down. Say it out loud once. Rehearse the worst answer. Prepare your follow-up. That removes fear. Test the request in private first, then make it public. Fear is data. Treat it like an experiment. You do not have to feel fearless to act. You only need to be curious about outcomes. Run this 7-day asking experiment. Test, learn, ask again. 7-day asking experiment. Day 1. Ask for a small discount or upgrade in a transaction. Example, can you add fries to the meal for free? Day 2. Ask for feedback from one person you respect. Tell me 2 skills I should fix this quarter. Day 3. Ask a coworker for help on a small task. Can you review his one slide by 3 p.m.? Day 4. Ask for a price increase with a current client. Given the extra scope, I need to move to X dollars per month. Day 5. Ask a friend for an introduction to someone useful. Can you introduce me to name? Day 6. Ask your partner for one change that improves your routine. Can we swap chores so I have mornings free? Day 7. Ask your boss for a short growth conversation. I want to discuss the pathway to promotion. When can we talk? Record the answers. Measure yes, no. Note tone. Note delays. You are collecting data. No is information. No is not a verdict on you. No is data you use to recalibrate. You have a choice. Test, learn, ask again. Now, how to phrase the ask so it lands. Use this 3-line formula. State the outcome. I want X. State the timeline. By Y date. State the reciprocity. I will deliver Z in return. Example, I want a 10% raise by July 1st. I will take on Project A and deliver B by then. Short, clear, hard to ignore. You don't need their permission to have an ask. You do need their cooperation to make it happen. You don't need their permission. Repeat that. Say it out loud. You don't need their permission. You only need to ask and to make the offer clear. Avoid these weak patterns. They kill your chances. If you have time, deletes urgency. Maybe deletes commitment. I was wondering if possibly deletes clarity. Replace them with short, direct lines. Drop the maybe. Tone matters. Posture matters. Speak like you expect a decision. Sit forward. Make eye contact. Use fewer words. Silence is a tool.
After the ask, stop talking. Let the other person respond. That pause is where the decision is made. When they push back, use the three-step objection handler. Validate briefly. I understand this is a change. Restate your outcome. I still need X. Offer a small trade or a timeline. If not now, can we revisit in 90 days with metrics I'll provide? Handle, hold, close. This chapter is about changing a habit, not a personality. You are not being rude. You are not being entitled. You are being decisive. It's not about luck. It's about discipline. It's not about courage. It's about practice. You have a choice. Practice asking until it becomes automatic. Daily micro practices that build asking muscle. Ask one question you would normally skip. Ask for one small favor each day. Send one request email with a deadline. Track the response time and the outcome. Write your ask on a sticky note. Put it where you can see it. Repeat the line 3 times before you send it. Ask for it. Ask for it. Ask for it. Repetition tightens the nerve. Repetition sharpens the language. Repetition turns an occasional act into a habit. You have a choice. Choose the habit of asking. Conclude this chapter with a commitment. Pick one meaningful ask right now. Define it in one sentence. Pick a date. Draft the 3-line formula. Send it within 24 hours. Report back to yourself. That is the work. You mastered the silence. You practiced the opening. You turned fear into data. Now let's move from raw asks to precise demands.
Chapter 2. Define the ask like it is a contract. You have a choice. Ask vague and hope, or ask precise and get. That is the difference. That is the contract. Be specific. Be specific. Be specific. A vague ask is a wish dressed as a question. Can we talk salary? Is a wish. I want $8,000 per month by July 1st, and I will lead Project X to increase revenue by 15% is a contract. The world responds to contracts. The world ignores hints. You have a choice. That's the key. Specificity forces decisions. Vagueness invites delay, and delay is silent rejection. If they don't know exactly what you want, they cannot say yes. If you don't know exactly what you want, you cannot lead the conversation. Be specific. Be specific. Be specific. Now understand this. Precision is power. It's not about confidence, it's about clarity. It's not about aggression, it's about discipline. Here is the structure of every powerful ask. 3 parts. Outcome. What exactly do you want? Timeline. By when? Trade-off. What are you giving in return? State it, lock it, confirm it. Example. Career. I want my salary adjusted to $8,000 per month by July 1st. In return, I will take ownership of Project X and deliver a 15% increase in qualified leads by Q3. Can we agree on that? That is not rude. That is clear. Example, client. To deliver this expanded scope by May 15th, the fee needs to move to $6,500. If we keep the original fee, we reduce scope to X. Which option works for you? Clear options force decisions. Example, relationship. I need 3 uninterrupted mornings each week for focused work starting Monday. In return, I'll handle dinner and Saturday errands. Can we test this for 30 days? Clarity builds trust. Vagueness builds tension. You don't need their permission to define terms. You don't need their permission. You need their agreement, and agreement requires clarity. Now let's go deeper. Most people sabotage themselves by stopping at agreement energy. The other person says, "Yeah, that sounds fair," and you relax. Wrong move. Sounds fair is not a commitment. Let's see is not a timeline. We'll figure it out is not a contract. Confirm, clarify, commit. When they respond vaguely, redirect immediately. Say, when you say that sounds good, are we agreeing to $8,000 by July 1st? Or, just to confirm, we're locking May 15th as the delivery date, correct?
Or, if you need time to decide, what date should I follow up for a final answer? Confirm, clarify, commit. This is discipline, not personality. Discipline. It's not about being dominant, it's about being structured. It's not about pressure, it's about precision. And here's the truth. People respect clarity more than politeness. When you define terms, you make the conversation easier for them. You remove confusion. You remove hidden expectations. You make success measurable. Add this layer. Put it in writing. After any meaningful agreement, send a short recap. Just to confirm, salary moves to $8,000 July 1st. I lead Project X. Target is 15% growth by Q3. Looking forward to executing. Written confirmation eliminates memory games. Written confirmation protects you from "that's not what I meant." If it matters, document it. Now prepare for objections. When they hesitate, don't collapse. You have a choice: fold or hold. If they say, "We don't have budget," respond, "If budget is the issue, can we structure this in phases? Phase 1 at X now, review in 90 days? If they say, "I need to check with someone," respond, "Great. Who makes the final decision and when should I expect an answer?" Push for timeline. Always timeline. If they say no outright, ask, "What would need to change for this to become a yes?" No is not rejection. No is information. It's not about ego, it's about data. Be specific. Be specific. Be specific. Now remove weak language permanently. Delete "if you have time." Maybe. "I was just wondering." Whenever works. Replace with "I need." "I propose." "By this date." "Which option do you choose?" Short sentences, clear terms, direct delivery. Here's your daily practice. For the next 7 days, take one vague request and rewrite it into a contract. Add a deadline to one open conversation. Add a trade-off to one negotiation. Confirm one agreement in writing. Do not skip a day. This is how you build the identity of someone who gets results. You have a choice: drift in conversations or define them. That's the key. It's not about boldness, it's about structure. It's not about charisma, it's about discipline. It's not about demanding, it's about defining. Before this chapter ends, pick one current situation in your life where things are unclear. Rewrite it right now using outcome, timeline, and trade-off. Send it within 24 hours. Lock it in. Because this entire book is about one thing: getting what you want by asking properly. And you just learned that asking without structure is noise. You've learned to stop hinting. You've learned to turn requests into contracts. You've learned to demand clarity. Now we go deeper. Precision without positioning can still fail.
Chapter 3. Ask from value, not neediness. You have a choice: lead with need or lead with value. That choice decides the outcome. That's the key. Neediness kills influence. Neediness smells like desperation. Tone reveals it. Posture reveals it. Words reveal it. When you sound needy, you weaken your ask. When you sound valuable, you increase your odds. Lead with value. Lead with value. Lead with value. Listen, people buy from those who help them first. They promote the person who solves a problem. They say yes to the person who reduces risk. Sellers who lead with a benefit close faster. Colleagues who show improvement earn promotions. Partners who lower friction keep relationships healthy. Offer first, ask second. Offer first, ask second. This chapter teaches you how to build a value-first ask. It gives scripts. It gives role-play lines. It gives daily exercises. Do the work. Practice. Repeat the framework until it becomes muscle. Start with a simple truth. Before you ask, answer one question. What's in it for them? That is the test. If you cannot answer that in one sentence, your ask is weak. What's in it for them? Say it aloud. What's in it for them? Repeat it. That clarifies everything. 3-line value-first script. Use it every time. Line 1. Lead with the benefit. I can help you achieve X. Line 2, state the ask. To do that, I need Y. Line 3, tie the trade-off. In return, I will deliver Z by date. Example for a boss. I can increase lead conversions by 20% in Q3 by optimizing our onboarding flow. To do that, I need a budget of $5,000 and 2 weeks of focused work. In return, I will deliver the new flow and the conversion dashboard by September 1st. Can we approve that budget? That sentence is not needy. It is useful. It is specific. It is responsible. It is short. It is decisive. You don't need their permission to offer a solution. You don't need their permission. You only need to make the value clear. Example for a client. I can deliver the advanced feature set that will reduce churn by 10%. To make that happen within 6 weeks, we need to adjust the fee to $6,500. If you prefer the original fee, we keep the base scope and push the advanced features to phase 2. Which option works for you? Clear options, value first, choice given. People like options when each option is framed by value. Example for a partner. I can take on Saturday breakfast and the laundry if you handle cleaning the living room. That frees up 2 hours each morning for both of us. Can we try this for 30 days and then review? Mutual benefit, low friction, built-in review. That is how adults negotiate life. Repeat the mantra. Offer first, ask second. Offer first, ask second. Now the technique. 3 behaviors that make the value first ask land. Frame the problem like theirs. Don't make it about you. Say the pain they feel. I know our churn is costing us X. Then bring your solution. Lead with specificity. Say the metric, the date, the deliverable. Reduce churn 10% by Q4. Numbers beat feelings. Close with choice. Give 2 clear options. One option includes your request, the other keeps the prior terms. Force the decision. People choose. Practice these lines until they are simple. Practiced lines remove neediness. Practiced lines create confidence. Confidence is not the point. Discipline is. It's not about charm, it's about discipline. It's not about being liked, it's about being useful. Role-play these short scripts. Record yourself. Listen for needy words and delete them. Words to cut immediately. I was wondering if maybe. If you have a moment. If it's not too much trouble. Replace them with I propose, I need. Can we decide by date? You have a choice. Use soft language and stall, or use firm language and produce results. That's the key. Next, build value muscle with micro-offers. These are tiny acts that prove your capability before the big ask. They lower resistance, they increase trust, they make the larger ask appear reasonable. 5 micro-offers to do daily for a week. Send 1 insight that helps a colleague. Short, actionable, no ask attached. Deliver a small extra in a client deliverable with 0 fanfare. Show the result. Give a free 15-minute consult to someone you want to work with. Provide 1 clear takeaway. Fix a small but visible problem at work without being asked. Share a relevant contact or resource with no expectation of return. Each micro-offer rewires perception. People start to see you as a giver, not a beggar. Offer first, ask second. Now, handle objections without shrinking. When they push back, repeat the value and add a compromise. Use this 3-step reply. Restate the benefit. I can increase conversions 20%. Offer a small concession. If budget is an issue, let's phase it. Ask for the decision. Which option would you prefer? Handle, hold, close. No is still data. No tells you what to change. No points you to the next ask. Convert no into feedback. Convert no into a conditional next step. You have a choice. Collapse at no or learn from no. That's the key. Daily drills. Do them for 14 days. Morning voice exercise. Recite your value first line 3 times. Midday micro-offer. Send a value note to someone. Evening review. Log responses. Note what worked. Track results.
1 week of practice yields measurable changes. 2 weeks rewire habit. You don't need their permission to practice. You don't need their permission to improve. Final practice before the chapter ends. Pick one big ask this week. Build it with the 3-line script. Lead with the benefit, state the need, offer the trade-off. Rehearse it twice. Send it. Follow up. You have a choice. Be needy or be valuable. Offer first, ask second. Offer first, ask second. You did the work. You learned to shift from asking to offering. You learned to frame your ask as a win for them. You learned to strip away the needy language and replace it with purpose.
Chapter 4. The Power of Timing. Ask when the moment is warm. You have a choice. Ask at random, or ask at the moment that makes a yes easier. That is the difference. That's the key. Timing beats technique. Timing beats argument. Timing changes everything. Now is the moment. Listen closely. The exact same ask can get 2 opposite answers depending on timing. Ask after a win, you ride momentum. Ask during stress, you face resistance. Ask when their attention is high, you get clarity. You have a choice. Choose the warm moment. How to spot a warm moment. Look for signals. Shortlist. They just closed a win. They are generous. Now is the moment. They praised your work publicly. Pride opens wallets and doors. Now is the moment. They're in a planning phase. Budgets are being set. Now is the moment. They asked for input. They invited ideas. Now is the moment. Signals are small. Notice them. Track them. Create an alert in your calendar. Make opportunity moments a habit. Case study. Landing a project after a win. Short story. You delivered a small campaign that increased client traffic by 18% in 2 weeks. You published the result. The client celebrated. You waited 24 hours. You sent 1 sentence. Now that results are in, can we expand this into a 3-month campaign at $7,500 with weekly reporting? The client replied, yes, send the scope. They agreed. Why? The win made them receptive. Now is the moment. That is predictable. That is repeatable. You have a choice. Ask cold or ask warm. That's the key. Create windows. You don't always get perfect moments, so make them. 3 tactics. Deliver visible wins. Publish mini results. Share short reports. Let success announce you. Ask for micro approval after small wins. A micro yes leads to bigger yeses. Scale the ask. Tie your ask to calendar events, end of quarter reviews, budget planning, performance check-ins. Many wins widen the door. The micro ask ladder is how you climb it. Micro ask ladder, step-up script. Step 1, micro ask, low friction. Can I run a 2-week test to improve X? Step 2, small ask, some commitment. Can we run a full month if results hit Y? Step 3, bigger ask, investment. Given those results, can we commit to a 3-month campaign at Z dollars? Scale the ask, scale the ask, scale the ask. Each step increases commitment. Each step raises trust. Each step makes the larger ask obvious. Scripts that use timing and ladder. After a win. Thanks for the positive feedback. Now that engagement improved 18%, can we expand this into a sustained test for 90 days at X dollars? If results hit the same KPI, we roll into a full program. Can I draft the scope? During planning. Budget planning is next week. I have a proposal that increases revenue by 12% with an initial fee of Y dollars. Can I present it in the review on Tuesday? When attention is high. I mentioned growth last meeting. I built a short plan that would cut churn by 10% in 6 weeks. Can I walk you through it for 10 minutes tomorrow? Short lines, clear asks, time anchors, momentum. Now, how to rescue a cold moment.
Conversations go cold. People forget. People stall. That's normal. You re-warm them. Re-warm, re-ask, reclaim. 3 re-warming techniques. The result nudge. Send a short update showing progress or new data. Script. Quick update. Week 2 results show plus 6% lift. Would you like to expand this test? The limited window offer. Create urgency without pressure. Script. I have availability to start this project on May 4th. If you want this quarter's results, we need to confirm by April 28th. The referent question. Ask a small commitment question that's easy to answer. Script. Would you prefer option A, fast, or option B, comprehensive? Re-warm, re-ask, reclaim, repeat. Follow-up cadence matters. Persistence without a plan becomes pestering. Have a sequence. Example cadence for a stalled ask. Day 1, send the proposal with a one-line summary. Day 3, follow up with a single metric or value point. Day 7, offer a short call to clarify. Day 14, send a limited window option or deadline. Day 30, reframe the ask based on new context or data. Track responses. Note how many touch points convert. You are creating data. No is information. Use it. You don't need their permission to try again. You don't need their permission. You only need discipline. It's not about impatience. It's about cadence. It's not about nagging. It's about structure. It's not about timing luck. It's about timing discipline. Practical habit drills for the next 14 days. Daily scan. Spend 5 minutes scanning your network and work for warm signals. Mark 2 targets. Now is the moment. Micro-ask practice. Send 1 micro-ask to a chosen contact. Use the 2-step ladder. Scale the ask. Re-warm routine. Pick 1 stalled conversation. Use the result nudge script. Re-warm, re-ask, reclaim. Calendar anchor. Add 1 ask to the next relevant planning meeting. Measure outcomes. Track yes rate. Track time to answer. Track conversion per ladder step. The numbers teach faster than feelings. Mindset reminders to repeat. You have a choice. Ask when it's cold or ask when it's warm. That's the key. Now is the moment. Scale the ask. Re-warm, re-ask, reclaim. You don't need their permission to pursue timing. You don't need their permission to make a moment. Practice creates moments. Close this chapter with a task. Identify 1 recent win. Wait 24 hours, then use the step-up script. Send 1 short timed ask that advances the work. Lock a deadline. Ask for a commitment in writing. You just learned to ride momentum. You learned to create windows. You learned to re-warm stalled talks. You learned to scale asks step by step. That is power. That is skill. That is asking with leverage. Now you mastered momentum. Now let's sharpen the words that close deals.
Chapter 5. Words that close. Language of high probability asks. You have a choice. Use soft language and wander. Or use sentences that force a decision. That is the difference. That's the key. Words change outcomes. Small adjustments in wording change a yes to a no. Learn the sentences that close. Repeat them. Use them. Say the sentence that closes. Say the sentence that closes. Say the sentence that closes. Start with the simplest high probability pattern. It is a single line. It names the trade and the deadline. I will do X if you do Y by Z. That line moves the conversation from hope to deal. It makes responsibilities visible. It forces a timeline. It creates a commitment. Say it. Send it. Close with it. Examples you can use today. Salary. I will lead Project Apollo and hit metric A by Q3 if my salary moves to X dollars by July 1st.
Can you confirm by Friday? Sales. If you signed the 12-month agreement today, I will include the onboarding and 2 custom reports at no extra cost. Can we get this documented by Tuesday? Partnership. If you promote the course to your list and reach 500 signups, I will deliver the exclusive module and split revenue 60-40. Can we start the campaign by next Monday? Those sentences are not arrogant. They are clear. They are decisive. They give others a simple choice. You don't need their permission to make an offer. You don't need their permission. You only need the courage to state the terms. Now the phrases to eliminate. Drop the maybe. Drop the maybe. Drop the maybe. Words that guarantee no. If you have time. Removes urgency. Whenever convenient. Removes commitment. Maybe later. Removes responsibility. I was just wondering if. Removes authority. Replace them immediately. Swap-ins you must use. Replace if you have time with can we schedule 10 minutes on date? Replace whenever convenient with can you confirm by date? Replace maybe later with if not now, when exactly? Replace I was just wondering if with I propose that date. Drop the maybe. Use decisive swaps. That's the key. Next, short closing sentences that nudge decisions. Keep these in your pocket and use them. Closing nudges. Which option do you choose? Do you want option A or option B? Can we lock this in by date? If I send a 1-page summary, will you sign off? Short, direct, hard to ignore. Say the sentence that closes. Now, objections. People will push back. Good. Objections are not rejection. Objections are invitations to clarify terms. Handle them. Hold your ground. Close the loop. Handle, hold, close, repeat. 3-step objection script. Learn it. Use it. Validate briefly. 1 sentence. I understand budget is tight. Restate the value. 1 sentence. This will reduce churn by 10% and recover costs within 2 months. Offer a clear conditional. 1 sentence. If budget is the issue, we can phase it. Phase 1 for $2,500 delivers the core improvements now, and Phase 2 for $3,000 follows after results. Which option do you prefer? Handle, hold, close, repeat. Another objection pattern is the parrot reply. Sounds good, or let me think about it. Those are discounts. Kill them with confirmation language. Parrot neutralizer. When you say sounds good, do you mean you'll approve X dollars by July 1st? If you need to think, when should I follow up for a final answer? Confirm, clarify, commit. Confirm, clarify, commit. Use time anchors. Deadlines force decisions. When people stall, anchor with a simple window. Limited window script. I can reserve the discounted rate until Friday. If you want to lock it, I need a signed confirmation by then. People act when they must choose. Use that. Tone and delivery matter. Short sentences, no filler. Strong posture. Pause after the ask. Let silence do its work. Silence forces a response. Fill silence only to tighten terms. That is discipline. Practice drills for the next 7 days. Drill 1. Morning. Say 3 closing sentences out loud. Record one and play it back. Drill 2. Midday. Convert one ongoing vague ask into a single closing sentence and send it. Drill 3. Evening. Review 3 responses. Note which words worked. Note which didn't. Write your closing sentences and memorize them. Keep them in a note on your phone. Use them until they feel normal. You don't need charm. You need structure. It's not about charisma. It's about discipline. It's not about being loud. It's about being clear. Remember the mantra. You have a choice. Use soft language and drift, or use closing language and move outcomes. That's the key. You don't need their permission to be direct. You don't need their permission. Say the sentence that closes. One final set of lines to add to your toolkit. Conditional closes that reduce risk for the other side. Conditional closes. If we hit X by date, we convert to a full contract. If the pilot reaches metric A, we scale to phase 2. If you sign by Friday, I will include onboarding at no cost. Before this chapter ends, pick one high-value ask you have pending. Build it into one closing sentence using the formula, I will do X if you do Y by Z. Rehearse it twice. Send it. Follow up with the objection script if needed. You practiced words that close. You learned what to cut. You learned how to handle pushback. You learned to use time anchors. You learned to say the sentence that closes. Now, remove the soft language forever.
Chapter 6. Asking Without Apology. Own the request. You have a choice. Soften and lose, or state and gain. That is the difference. That's the key. No apology, only clarity. Say it again. No apology, only clarity. Apology language strips power. Tiny words remove weight. Sorry to bother you sounds polite. It also guarantees a weaker result. You are not doing favors by apologizing for your needs. You are negotiating reality. Own the request. Here is the basic rule. Delete the unnecessary apology. Replace it with purpose. That swap shifts the entire conversation. Before, after examples for emails and meetings. Email. Before. Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. I was wondering if you might have some time to discuss my role and perhaps my salary if possible. Email. After. Hi, can we schedule 15 minutes tomorrow to discuss my role and a salary adjustment to X dollars by July 1st? I'll share a short one-page plan beforehand. Meeting opener. Before. Sorry to bring this up out of nowhere, but I wanted to check if maybe we could talk about my responsibilities. Meeting opener. After. I booked 15 minutes to review responsibilities and define the path to promotion. I'll present 2 options and propose a timeline. See the difference? One invites indecision. One demands a decision. No apology, only clarity. You don't need their permission to state terms. You don't need their permission. Repeat it. You don't need their permission to show up prepared. You don't need their permission to own the request. You only need to be clear and useful. Physical posture changes how you are heard. Stand, speak, state. Stand, speak, state. 5 minutes of posture work moves your voice and your confidence. Micro practice, 5 minutes a day. Stand tall for 1 minute. Shoulders back, chest open. Breathe slow. Speak a single sentence aloud for 1 minute. Use the 3-line contract formula, short and loud enough to hear. Practice a 5-second pause after the sentence. Let silence land. Repeat the sentence 2 more times with variations for tone. Close with 1 deep inhale. Do this daily for 1 week. You will notice your voice tighten. Your words will land straighter. Posture is a signal. People read it before they hear your content. Word swaps to use immediately. Replace weak openers with declarative starters. Replace I was hoping with I propose.
Replace "if you have time" with "can we schedule 10 minutes on date?" Replace "sorry to ask" with "quick ask, state request." Short sentences, no hedging, no cushioning. That is authority. Now the tension question: when to be firm and when to be flexible. This is crucial. Firm on outcomes, flexible on process. Repeat it. Firm on outcomes, flexible on process. Firm on outcomes means you know the result you must achieve. The outcome is non-negotiable. Stated plainly, do not trade the outcome away for temporary comfort. Flexible on process means you can adjust the steps, offer options, show willingness to collaborate on execution. That preserves relationships. That secures the result. Examples: firm outcome, flexible process. Salary. I need my salary to be X dollars by July 1st. If the full number is difficult now, we can split it, X1 now and X2 by September with agreed KPIs. Which option works? Firm outcome, flexible process. Client. We need the churn reduced by 10% by Q4. We can do that via onboarding improvements or a retention campaign. Which approach do you prefer? Firm outcome, flexible process. Relationship. I need uninterrupted work mornings 3 times a week. If mornings won't work, suggest alternate windows. The goal stays the same. That balance protects outcomes. It keeps doors open. It avoids burning bridges. It gives the other party dignity while you keep your demands intact. You will face pushback. Expect it. Prepare for 3 common replies and your exact language. Pushback 1. We can't afford that. You. I understand. If budget is the issue, can we phase it? Phase 1 delivers core value at X dollars now. Phase 2 follows after measurable results. Which phase do you prefer? Pushback 2. I need to think about it. You. When can I follow up? I'll send a 1-page summary and check back on date. Does that work? Pushback 3. That's not how we do things. You. Understood. We can align with your process if I present the proposal in your format. Who is the decision owner and when can they review it? Handle, hold, close. Keep your tone direct and calm. No apology, only clarity. A small practice routine to own your asks this week. Day 1. Rewrite 3 existing asks to remove apologetic language. Send 1. Day 2. Do the 5-minute posture practice each morning. Send 1 scheduled meeting request using declarative language. Day 3. Practice the firm outcome, flexible process template in 1 negotiation. Offer 2 process options. Day 4. Record a short voice note of your ask. Play it back. Adjust for brevity. Day 5. Confirm 1 agreement in writing with a clear outcome and deadline. No fluffy language. You have a choice. Continue softening your language and wonder why things drift, or own the request and create results. That's the key. It's not about arrogance, it's about discipline. It's not about being rude, it's about clarity. It's not about being loud, it's about being precise. It's not about the flaw of being forceful, it's about the discipline of clear terms. Finish this chapter with an action. Identify 1 ongoing ask where you apologized or hedged. Rewrite it now into a direct sentence. Remove the apology, add the deadline, add the trade-off. Send it within 24 hours. Confirm in writing. Lock the outcome. You stood up for your ask. You removed the weak language. You practiced posture. You balanced firmness with flexibility. You owned the request.
Chapter 7. The Follow-Up Machine. Ask, track, relentlessly follow up. You have a choice. Send the ask and hope, or build a machine and win. That is the difference. That's the key. Most wins do not come from the first ask. Most wins come from what you do next. Follow up, follow up, follow up.
Persistence is the multiplier. Persistence beats luck. Persistence wins deals. You have a choice. Be persistent. This chapter builds a follow-up system. Practical, brutal, simple. It removes guessing. It removes hope. It turns asking into predictable outcomes. Follow up, follow up, follow up. First rule, plan your follow-up before you send the first ask. Decide the cadence, the channel, and the objective. If it matters, design the sequence. If you wing it, you wait forever. That is not strategy. That is surrender. You have a choice, plan or drift. That's the key. The 7-step follow-up cadence I use. Use it, test it, tweak it. Day 0, send the ask. Short, clear, 1-sentence summary and 1 attachment. Ask for a decision or a date. Day 2, quick value nudge. 1-line email, metric or example that supports the ask. Quick update, here's a 1-minute case study showing similar results. 1 more ask. Day 5, short follow-up. 2 sentences, restate the ask and propose a 10-minute call. Can we hop on 10 minutes Tuesday? Follow up. Day 10, add social proof. 1 short example or testimonial. Client X said yes and saw why. 1 more ask. Day 14, limited window option. Create a small deadline or a scarce offer. I can reserve this rate until Friday. Follow up. Day 21, voicemail plus email. Leave a concise voicemail and follow with a 1-line email referencing the voicemail. Persistent, not pestering. Day 30, reframe or archive. Either reframe the ask based on new data or archive the conversation and schedule a revisit in 90 days. 1 more ask. That sequence is not fixed. Tweak for your context, but do not skip steps. Do not assume silence equals no. Silence equals data. Use it. Templates you can drop in now. Copy them. Use them. Edit the bracketed items. Day 0, ask email. Subject, quick ask, 1-line outcome. Body, hi name, I can benefit. To make that happen, I need ask. Can you confirm by date? I'll send a 1-page scope after you confirm. Your name. Day 2, value nudge. Subject, mini case, result. Hi name, quick example. We ran this for client and saw metric. Thought it was relevant. If you want, I can adapt this for you. Shall I draft a short plan? Day 5, follow-up. Subject, quick follow-up on ask. Hi name, did you see my note about ask? Can we take 10 minutes to align this week, Tuesday or Thursday? Your name. Day 14, limited window. Subject, last call. Availability closes Friday. Hi name, I can hold the discounted rate or slot until Friday. If you want to lock it, I need a quick written confirmation. After Friday, I'll open it to others. Voicemail script, 20 to 30 seconds. Hi name, this is your name. Quick note on the proposal I sent. I have a slot to start on date and wanted to confirm if you want me to hold it. If so, email yes and I'll send the kickoff. Thanks. In-person nudge lines. Which option do you prefer, A or B? Do you want it started this month or next? I can block the time if you want to move forward. 1 more ask. Say it. Send it. Now the tracking system. You must record every touch. Spreadsheet, CRM, Note app. Whatever you use, log date, channel, message, response, and next step. Without tracking, you repeat mistakes. With tracking, you collect data. Data creates leverage. You have a choice, track or forget. That's the key. Automate the effort, not the heart. Use templates, use reminders, use an email scheduler. Use a simple CRM that pings you when it's time to follow up. But do not automate the message entirely. Personalize 1 line every time. Make it human, persistent, not pestering. tools help you be consistent. They do not replace your voice. Examples of automation plus human mix. Schedule day 2 and day 5 follow-ups to send automatically, then edit the day 5 message with a personalized insight before it sends. Use a calendar booking link in the day 5 follow-up, but also suggest 2 specific times. People will choose a time faster when you narrow options. Set reminders to call after the day 7 email. A real voice moves things more than another email. Handle pushback with calm escalation. Use a 3-step reply if you get resistance. Validate briefly. I understand timing is tight. Reiterate benefit. This will reduce churn by X and recover costs in Y months. Offer a low-friction next step. If budget is the issue, can we phase this? Phase 1 for X dollars now and review in 60 days? Handle, hold, close. Measure results. 2 simple metrics will change your behavior: response rate and conversion rate per cadence step. Track which step converts most. Double down on that move. The numbers teach faster than feelings. Practice drills for the next 14 days. Day 1, build your follow-up spreadsheet and input 3 current asks. Day 2, send day 0 and schedule day 2 and day 5 messages. Day 3 to 14, personalize each scheduled message before it sends. Make 1 micro offer in each follow-up. Day 15, review results. Adjust cadence based on what converted. Mantras to repeat when follow-up feels annoying. You have a choice: shrug and wait, or follow with discipline. That's the key. It's not about pestering, it's about persistence. It's not about nagging, it's about process. Persistent, not pestering. Final assignment. Pick 1 high-value ask you sent and let the 7-step cadence run. Track every touch. Personalize each message. Record the outcome. Learn. Repeat.
Chapter 8. Turn no into data. Turn no into next-level asks. You have a choice. Treat no as an end, or treat no as information. That is the difference. That's the key. No is information. No is information. No is information. Listen to this plainly. A no is not a verdict on your worth. It is a signal. It tells you why the other side hesitated. It points to timing, budget, priorities, or misunderstanding. Every no contains an explanation if you ask for it. You have a choice. Ignore the signal or use it to improve. Use it. That's the key. First rule: reframe rejection immediately. Replace emotional interpretation with an investigative mindset. Don't react. Collect data. No is information. Say it out loud. Make it a habit. No is not final. No is data. Here is the simple operating sequence to follow when you get a no. Pause. Breathe. Do not collapse. Ask the debrief questions. Why not? What would change? When can we revisit? Ask them exactly. Record the answers. Treat them like gold. Use them to plan your next ask. You have permission to ask for feedback. You don't need their permission to learn. You don't need their permission. The debrief script. Use this exact phrasing. Memorize it. Deliver it calmly. Deliver it quickly after the no. Debrief script. Exact lines. I appreciate your honesty. Can I ask one quick question? Why not? If they give a reason, follow with, what would need to change for this to become a yes? Then close with, when can we revisit this? Is there a date I should follow up on? Say it. Write it down. No is information. Why not? What would change? When can we revisit? Why not? What would change? When can we revisit? Why this works? The questions convert emotion into specifics. They force the other party to articulate constraints. They often reveal a fixable barrier. Budget, timing, scope, authority. You now have actionable data. Real example, short case study.
A freelancer pitched a 3-month marketing package and got a no. He asked the debrief questions. The client said budget and the board's review timeline. He asked what would change. The client said, if you can show 2 pilot weeks with measurable lift, we could approve phase 2 next quarter. He asked, when can we revisit? The client scheduled a board review in 10 weeks. The freelancer offered a 2-week pilot at reduced cost and a clear metric plan. Result? The client signed the full package after the pilot. No became a roadmap. No is information. Another case, internal promotion. You asked for a promotion and got a soft no. You used the debrief script. The manager said, we need clearer KPIs and another client win. You asked what would change. Manager, deliver 2 client wins and show leadership on Project B. You asked, when can we revisit? Manager, we'll review in 6 months. You documented the KPIs. You executed. You returned in 6 months and converted the no into a yes. No was the blueprint. Do this every time. Collect the reasons, turn reasons into tasks, prioritize the tasks, tackle the highest impact gap first. Adjust, reframe, re-ask. Adjust, reframe, re-ask. Now the tactical playbook for converting no into a later yes. Step A. Decode the reason. Listen for the core constraint, price, timing, authority, fit, or scope. Write it down. Step B. Propose a tiny experiment. Offer a small, low-risk action that addresses the constraint. Examples. If price is the issue, propose a phased approach or a pilot at a reduced rate. If timing is the issue, offer a specific start date aligned with their planning cycle. If authority is the issue, ask who the decision owner is and offer to present to them. If scope is the issue, propose a narrower deliverable that proves value. Step C. Set a clear follow-up date. Ask, when can we revisit this? Get the date, put it on your calendar. Send a short confirmation email that recaps the reason, the tiny experiment, and the agreed follow-up date. Step D. Execute and report. Run the experiment. Measure results. Send a 1-page report. Use numbers. Use 1 clear KPI. No fluff. Then re-ask. Adjust, reframe, re-ask. Language to use when you re-ask. Use short sentences. Use the contract format. Example lines. Based on our pilot results, plus 8% conversion, I propose phase 1 at X dollars and phase 2 upon reaching Y by date. Can we lock that in? Given the board review on date, I will prepare a 2-slide summary and present. Will you introduce me to the board? We reduced scope to the core feature set and can start on date. Are you ready to move forward with that option? Keep it tight. Keep it measurable. Keep it timed. Track every no. Add it to your follow-up sheet. Record the reason and the agreed next step. Data compounds. After 10 no's, patterns will appear. You will stop guessing. You will stop hoping. You will optimize. Mindset rules that must stick. No is information, not identity. Repeat it. No is information. The first no is rarely final. Most deals close after iteration. Repeat. Follow up. Adjust. Reframe. Re-ask. It's not about rejection. It's about discipline. It's not about personal flaw. It's about recalibration. It's not about failure. It's about iteration. Practice drills for the next 30 days. Drill 1. After any no, use the exact debrief script in the next 24 hours. Record answers. Drill 2. Convert 1 no into a pilot offer within 72 hours. Send a 1-page plan. Drill 3. Schedule the agreed revisit and confirm in writing. Do the work. Send the results before the follow-up. Re-ask with the data. Short checklist before you re-ask. Did I capture the real reason? Yes or no? Did I propose a specific low-risk fix? Yes or no? Did I set a follow-up date? Yes or no? Is the new ask measurable and timed? Yes or no? If any answer is no, fix it before you re-ask. You have a choice. Treat no as final or treat no as fuel. That is the difference. That's the key. No is information. Use it. Adjust. A reframe. Re-ask. You turned rejection into a system. You converted barriers into experiments. You turned no into next-level asks.
Chapter 9. Asking in Relationships. Balance honesty and care. You have a choice. Hide needs and hope they're noticed, or state needs clearly and keep the connection. That is the difference. That's the key. Be direct, be kind. Be direct, be kind. Be direct, be kind. Relationships are not business deals. They are not projects. They are human systems with feelings. That matters. But feelings are not a reason to avoid clarity. Clarity creates safety. Safety creates trust. You have a choice. Choose clarity. Start with the essential split. Two types of asks exist in relationships. Emotional asks. These ask for feeling, presence, validation. They sound like, hold me when I'm stressed, or tell me you're proud of me. Transactional asks. These ask for concrete actions or arrangements. They sound like, can you pick up groceries on Thursday? Or, I need 3 focused mornings for work. Treat them differently. Ask for feelings with vulnerability. Ask for actions with specificity. Both require honesty and care. Both require form. Be direct, be kind. Be direct, be kind. Be direct, be kind. Why this matters? Emotional asks without structure become needy. Transactional asks without empathy become cold. If you make an emotional ask into a checklist, you flatten intimacy. If you make a transactional ask into hints, you get resentment. Balance both. That's the key. Rule 1. Name the category. When you ask, label what it is. Simple lines. This is an emotional ask. This is a practical ask. Labeling removes confusion. It lowers defensiveness. Try it. Say it out loud. This is an emotional ask. I need reassurance tonight. This is a practical ask. I need help with errands on Friday. You don't need their permission to name the need. You don't need their permission. Exact phrasing for tough moments. Use short, gentle sentences. Use the explain, empathize, execute pattern. Explain, empathize, execute. Explain, empathize, execute. Script A. When feelings are raw. Role play. You. I need to tell you something. This is an emotional ask. Partner. Okay. When you cancel plans without warning, I feel ignored. Explain. You. I know you're busy and it's not personal. Empathize. You. I need you to text me if you can't make it, at least 2 hours before. Can we do that? Execute. Short, honest, protective of feelings, strong boundary, no apology, only clarity. Script B. When chores build resentment. You. Quick practical ask. Partner. What is it? The dishes and trash have fallen unevenly to me. I need a fair split. Explain. You. I know your schedule is heavy. Empathize. You. Can we set a rotating schedule? I'll do Mondays and Thursdays. You take Wednesdays and Saturdays. Try it for 30 days and we review. Execute. Notice the pattern. Explain, empathize, execute, repeat. When resistance appears, diffuse hurt immediately. Use these lines. I hear you. Short. This isn't an attack. This is a request. I want this to work for both of us. Role play hard pushback. Them. You're being too needy. You. I hear that. I don't want to sound needy. I want clarity so I don't feel resentful. Can we pick a small change to test for 30 days? Explain, empathize, execute. Them. I don't remember agreeing to that. You. Let's confirm now so we both know. Which days work for you? Confirm, clarify, commit. Use short follow-ups. If hurt lingers, do not debate it forever. Move to a repair step.
Offer a small gesture that signals care, then restate the ask in the contract format. Outcome, timeline, trade-off. I want X by Y. In return, I will Z. That structure calms the nervous system. It lowers argument. It creates action. Ritualize check-ins. Adult relationships need a regular place to surface needs. Use a monthly framework. Check, ask, adjust. Check, ask, adjust. Check, ask, adjust. Monthly framework, 20-minute session. Check, 5 minutes. Each person names one win and one pain. Short, no debate. Ask, 10 minutes. Each person makes one specific ask, emotional or practical. Use the contract style for practical asks. Use the explain, empathize, execute pattern for emotional asks. Adjust, 5 minutes. Agree on one experiment or change. Set a 30-day review date. Confirm in one text message after the session. This routine prevents escalation. It keeps small problems from turning huge. It trains both people to treat asks like data, not attacks. You have a choice. Skip the check-in and let problems rot, or schedule the check-in and fix things fast. That's the key. Micro habits that reduce friction daily. One daily appreciation. Say one sentence of thanks. Short, real. One daily micro ask. Ask for one small thing rather than 10 big things. One nightly 60-second check. Is there one good thing today? One thing to improve? Practice these until they feel normal. Small, consistent moves beat rare, dramatic talks. Boundaries in families and friendships require the same clarity. Use the same scripts adapted for context. Friend example. I love you and I need a favor. I need you to arrive on time when we agreed. It's important to me. If you can't make it, give me a 30-minute heads up. Parent example. This is a practical ask. I need help with the kids' schedule on Sundays. If you can take them bi-weekly, I'll handle groceries those weeks. In every case, name, explain, empathize, state the ask, set a timeline, confirm. Handling deep emotional fallout. When an ask triggers big hurt, do repair work. Use 3 steps. Pause. Stop arguing. Validate. I see this hurt you. Repair. Offer one clear action. I will do X this week to show I mean it. Repeat the mantra. Explain, empathize, execute. Remember the meta-truth. It's not about being right, it's about being connected. It's not about avoiding conflict, it's about handling it well. It's not about the flaw of bluntness, it's about the discipline of clarity. It's not about permission. You don't need their permission to ask for what you need. You need their cooperation to make it happen. You don't need their permission. Final practical exercise before this chapter closes. Schedule your 20-minute monthly check-in within 72 hours. Draft one emotional ask and one practical ask. Use the exact scripts above. Practice the lines twice. Send a confirmation text after the session that captures the agreed experiment and the 30-day review date. You learned to be direct and kind. You learned to diffuse hurt. You learned to ritualize needs so they don't explode. You learned to turn asks into agreements, not ultimatums.
Chapter 10. Build a life where asking is normal. This is the final shift. Not a tactic, not a script, not a clever sentence. An identity. You are not learning how to ask once. You are becoming someone who asks as a way of life. That's the key. Because here is the truth. If asking feels rare, it will feel terrifying. If asking feels daily, it will feel normal. You have a choice. Live as someone who waits, or live as someone who asks. And the difference between those two lives is everything. Habit stacking. Courage is built daily. Confidence is not a personality trait. It's a repetition. It's not about bravery. It's about discipline. So we stack the habit. Ask daily, ask daily, ask daily. Start small. Always start small. Day 1 to 5. Ask for information. Ask a stranger for directions, even if you know them.
Ask a colleague how they solved a problem. Ask a business what their best package is. Low stakes, low emotion, high repetition. You are training your nervous system. Days 6 to 10, ask for preference. Can we move this meeting 30 minutes earlier? I'd prefer X instead of Y. Can we try it this way? You are stretching your comfort zone. Day 11 to 15, ask for opportunity. Can I take the lead on this project? Is there room for growth here? What would it take to qualify for that role? Notice the shift? The asks are growing. Day 16 to 20, ask for support. Can you introduce me to? Can you review this for me? Can you help me practice this pitch? You are activating your network. Day 21 to 25, ask for compensation. I want to revisit my rate. I'm seeking X for this contract. If I deliver Y, can we agree to Z? Specific, calm, direct. Day 26 to 30, ask for expansion. I want to scale this. Let's formalize this partnership. What would it take to make this long-term? 30 days, one ask per day minimum. Track it, score it, measure responses. This is not random courage, it's about structured exposure. Ask daily. You don't need their permission to practice asking. You don't need their permission to improve. And here's what happens by day 30. Asking stops feeling like a risk. It starts feeling like a reflex. That's the key. Social proof and environment. Normalize the ask. If you are surrounded by people who never ask, you will shrink. If you are surrounded by people who ask boldly, you will rise. People ask, you ask. People ask, you ask. Environment matters more than motivation, so build one. Create or join a mastermind of 3 to 5 people. Weekly format. Each person declares one bold ask they will make this week. Each person reports on last week's ask, outcome, and lesson. The group challenges vague language and forces specificity. No hiding, no I'll try, only commitments. Add accountability. Use a shared spreadsheet. Track number of asks made, number of follow-ups, yes rate, lessons learned. Make it visible, because what gets measured improves, and what gets shared accelerates. You can also build micro-environments. Follow entrepreneurs who publicly negotiate. Watch interviews where leaders talk about how they asked for opportunity. Spend time with salespeople. They live in the ask. Notice something powerful. In rooms where asking is normal, it stops being awkward. It becomes expected. You have a choice. Stay in rooms where asking feels rude, or enter rooms where asking feels professional. People ask, you ask. People ask, you ask. That repetition will rewire you. The identity shift. Stop waiting. Start asking. This is the final transformation. You are not someone who hopes. You are not someone who waits to be discovered. You are someone who asks. Identity precedes action. If you still see yourself as not the type, you will sabotage your growth. So we replace the identity. Old identity. I don't want to bother people. I'll wait until they notice. Maybe later. Delete it. New identity. I create clarity. I initiate opportunity. I ask. It's not about personality, it's about discipline. It's not about aggression, it's about ownership. You have a choice. Waiting is passive, asking is active. Waiting transfers power, asking claims power. And here is the final mental model. Life rewards visible desire. Unspoken desire is invisible. Invisible desire gets ignored. Visible desire gets negotiated. That's the key. So build a daily mantra. Repeat it every morning for 30 days. I ask, I claim, I live. Say it before emails. Say it before meetings that scare you. I ask, I claim, I live. Because here is what changes when you become an asker. Your income rises. Your relationships deepen. Your time becomes intentional. Your confidence compounds. Not because the world changed, because you did. You stopped waiting for mercy. You started initiating movement. You don't need their permission to ask. You only need your own decision. And once you decide, the rest becomes repetition. Ask daily. People ask, you ask, I claim, I live. That is the art. That is the discipline. That is the life. And now you have a choice. Close this chapter and go back to old habits, or make one ask today before the day ends. One clear, direct, specific ask. No apology, only clarity. Because the person who gets what they want is not the most talented, not the luckiest, not the loudest. It is the one who asks, and keeps asking, and builds a life where asking is normal. You have heard it plainly. Asking is not begging. It is skill. It is negotiation. It is the engine of progress. For an hour, you got the maps, the words, the scripts, and the muscle practice. Do this. Pick one ask you've been avoiding right now. Define it in one sentence. Name the outcome. Pick a deadline. Use the script from Chapter 2. Send it. Follow up. If they say no, use Chapter 8. Repeat the sequence until the world gives you back what you asked for. This is not soft. This is not polite. This is effective. Now take one action in the next 24 hours and report the result to yourself. If you want more hard, repeatable playbooks like this, like the video and subscribe to MindShift audiobooks. Ask, persist, claim.